the heart of Portuguese Australia, ready to discover one of the earthy peasant cuisines of the world. It's all about fire and passion, food cooked over charcoal, sizzled and even branded with hot irons. Join our food safari to learn the secret of moist Portuguese charcoal chicken and a simple recipe for fiery peri-peri sauce. Mutton as tender as lamb, slow cooked in red wine and spices. The fish that launched 1,000 ships. A fabulous vegetarian dish and 4 ingredients that make a classic creme caramel.
Portuguese food is strong flavours, strong smell of food, but very simple at the same time.
Fatima Barroso started the first Portuguese restaurant in Australia and recently won an award from her homeland for promoting Portuguese food and culture.
We don't like to overpower the food. We don't use many spices, but we're very good with bay leaves, it's one of our favourites, our rock salt, our paprikas, and always the wine.
So you drink it and you cook with it?
We drink it, we cook with it. We use mainly olive oil. The darker, the strong taste, we use a lot of it.
And you also use it to add flavour to the dish, as well as cooking. You'll finish off dishes.
Finish off just to give it that strong taste. Queen's paste is a must. Every house in Portugal, no matter if it's poor or rich, everyone has Queen's paste. And we always have it with cheese. Mild cheese, goat's cheese, that's our favourite. Kids take it to school instead of Vegemite, it's Queen's paste and cheese.
Tell me about the peri-peri sauce.
It's originally from Africa, from the ex-Portuguese colonies. Then in Australia, people start making the sauce, and I think the sauces made in Australia are actually nicer than the ones you buy from Portugal, that comes from Portugal.
Luis Fernandez grew up with the sharp smell of chilies being made into peri-peri sauce. He now makes 2 huge vats a week in his family's charcoal chicken restaurant and takeaway in Sydney's Little Portugal, the suburb of Petersham. Everybody knows Portuguese chicken now, but it's not in fact Portuguese, is it?
No, it actually originates back in Africa, in Angola. They'd open up a chicken and grab some chicken wire over some tall bricks, and they'd light a flame and they'd do their special marinade. My grandparents actually noticed that was happening and said, what a great idea to take this back to Portugal. Next thing you know, it was all over Portugal. And
so your family actually started Portuguese charcoal chicken?
Yeah, you could say that, mate.
And your grandmother was very crucial to that, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was instrumental, my grandmother. She was a great cook, so...
So what, she worked out the marinade?
She worked out the marinade. 17 years ago, my father opened a little shop in Petersham and it kicked off.
The recipes used by the family are a closely held secret. But luckily, Grandmother Fernandez was such a fine cook, she developed other versions, one of which works perfectly at home.
First one is the marinade, and there's 7 or 8 different ingredients, all natural ingredients I could use here to make the marinade.
So where do we start?
Okay, we'll start off with 8 cloves of fresh garlic, okay, crushed garlic.
It's a great smell.
We now add a pinch of salt.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Got some lemons here.
Juice of...
A couple of lemons.
Couple of lemons.
Yep. Oh, it's coming up already. The Portuguese are so into the garlic, lemon and chilli. It's probably their 3 favourite things. I'll move on to some ground bay leaf powder. You put a 1/4 tablespoon in there. We'll move on to the paprika. It's just a half a tablespoon of that.
Oh, that's a great colour.
We'll now add a couple of shots of scotch, which the Portuguese use a lot of wine and scotch and brandy in a lot of their meals, so... And the final thing is 2 tablespoons of butter.
Okay.
Okay?
Not olive oil in this case.
No olive oil in this marinade. There we go. Okay?
And so that melts onto the chicken as you
That'll
start
melt
to
onto
cook
the
it.
chicken.
And how long do you like to marinate for?
This marinade you can allow half hour to 45 minutes.
To prepare the chicken, Lewis first removes the excess fat.
Now we'll go straight down in the middle, stomach, and go whooshka. Straight up. Okay.
Okay, whooshka.
Open it up. Turn it over.
Okay.
Break the backbone there.
Okay.
Give it a couple of hits there.
He then cuts just behind the wings to help flatten it out. Makes another few incisions to help the chicken absorb the marinade and drain any fat when it's cooking. Pricking the flesh with a large fork allows even more flavour to be absorbed. The marinade is then brushed on both sides.
Now it's ready for the rock salt.
So there's no bit that you miss, it's just
It's basically all over. Takes a bit more to absorb, so you put a bit on the breast
So
areas
that doesn't make it really salty.
there. No, not at all. There we go. It's done. Ready to cook, mate.
The chicken is best cooked over charcoal, but can also be cooked on a barbecue grill and turned often.
I reckon the face of the Australian barbie's changing.
It is.
Thank
Different
God.
cultures and foods from
Yeah.
around the world. So
Oh,
this is Portugal's gift to the world, Portuguese
it's a
chicken.
great smell. Even with that marinade, you like to add even more flavour with your piri-piri sauce?
Yes, and I personally love chili.
But it's hot.
It's quite hot. It's hotter than your regular chili, so we've
Okay, all right.
got to be cautious.
Okay.
The famous piri-piri sauce is simply made by chopping 10 birdseye chilies, seeds and all, adding a good sprinkling of salt, the juice of half a lemon, and 100 ml of Portuguese olive oil.
I love how you measure it in a shot glass.
And a couple of tablespoons of garlic powder, which helps to thicken the sauce.
There we go. Quite creamy, as you can see. Texture is beautiful.
Very nice.
There's your African piri-piri sauce. Hey guys, we've got the chicken ready here. Look at that. Now it's ready to cut up.
Looks like a work of art.
It is.
That smells so good. Oh, it even sounds juicy.
Sounds great. Unbelievable. Okay.
Thank you. Obrigado.
Obrigado. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, Lewis. That is killer
Does
stuff.
not get any better than that.
Oh, my God. Another famous Portuguese ingredient is created using fire. In this case, smoke that cures the beautiful chorizo and ham. The first thing you smell here is garlic, paprika and smoke. This simply doesn't smell like other butcher shops in Australia.
Manuel Alves has been making and smoking the famous Portuguese sausage chorizo for over 30 years.
My chorizo is just pork meat, salt, garlic, and a few spice like pepper, like
It's got paprika in it, doesn't it?
paprika too,
Yeah.
and capsicum sauce.
Ah, and
You
it's
know,
used...
They used in anything, no? They can roast, they can fry, they can put in stews, they can eat like that, no?
But the most famous way of cooking chorizo is using the Portuguese grappa called aguardente, or fire water, which flames a terracotta vessel called an assador.
The burning of the grappa gives the salami a really nice flavour. It infiltrates the meat of the salami. It's not to cook because the salami is already cooked.
Other great rustic meat dishes are true peasant fare, the cheapest cuts of meat cooked to age-old recipes. Sedalia Rendeiro, one of the great cooks of the Portuguese community, loves the taste and simplicity of chanfana.
In my village, we use more goat than lamb, but lamb is as good as
Yeah.
goat.
Okay. So you've got, what, the shoulder?
The shoulder, we need big pieces.
It's actually quite an easy dish to make, isn't it?
It's very easy because after we marinate it, we leave it for 4 hours at least. Put it in the oven and just leave it. Now, start with an onion. It has to be a big onion like this.
That's a clever way of chopping an onion.
Yeah. Right, now, garlic. And put it in. A little bit of salt, rock salt. Okay, a little bit more the onion. I think the Portuguese use a lot is the bay leaf and cut it in half.
And you like white pepper for this, do you?
Yes, I like the white pepper. Paprika.
What's
Sweet paprika. It's called in Portuguese colorau. Another layer of meat.
So you've got to really pack it in.
Yeah, and go again. Salt. Doesn't matter which way you put it. Doesn't really have to be the same. Yeah. And now is ready for the red wine. It has to be a wine with color. My father used to say, the wine has life as the people. Okay. Yeah. It's better if you put a little bit more than less. Now we live like this for at least 5 hours.
Oh, Sedalia.
I think this meat has been drinking too much. We need a little bit more, if you don't mind.
Enough here?
Yes. What we do is going to put the olive oil.
Now, why do you put oil when there's already fat in the meat? The oil is for the flavour.
The oil is for the flavour. And now is the parsley. We don't cut the stems because the stems give them even more flavour than the leaves. Please, thank you.
The terracotta dish is sealed in foil and cooked in the oven for 3 hours. 45 minutes at 200 degrees, then the heat lowered to 180 for the rest of the time.
Yes.
It looks beautiful.
You go ahead.
No.
Yes, you do. You are my guest today.
No, all right. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, you got to serve it here. I should give you It's lovely.
It melts.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's more than nice. It's fantastic. In Portugal, many houses don't have an oven, so the centre of village life is often a big communal oven like this one, and they make the most beautiful crusty country-style bread. But there's an even more rustic sort of bread, and that's the national bread of Portugal.
Baker Carlos Fernandez was taught by his father to make broa, the rich yellow bread made from polenta, semolina and rye meal.
In Portugal, when they do finish the dough, mixing the dough, they do like a cross, and they press it.
The broa keeps for weeks and accompanies many dishes. The rustic texture of the bread means its crumbs can also be used in cooking. Andrea de Souza uses Carlos's cornbread to make a simple but wonderful dish, using Portugal's favourite veggie, kale. When it's not available from the family veggie patch, Andrea has found a clever alternative.
Yes, we can use the Chinese broccoli because not everyone has got the Portuguese kale. And we don't use the stems, nice and tightly.
So this is a clever device that only a Portuguese kitchen would have.
Yes, that's right.
And you have to do it fine.
Very finely, yeah. But that's the secret of it. It has to be very fine. I do it as a side dish, and probably instead of making a salad, I'll quickly just toss this around.
Have you taken this to an Aussie barbecue?
I have indeed.
Yeah.
and they've licked their fingers.
So you cook in extra virgin?
Yep. We're just going to get a garlic. Okay, we're going to toss in the breadcrumbs, let them get a little bit crunchy, so toast them just a little bit. Throw in the kale, the beans.
Andrea then adds half a cup of cooked black-eyed beans and a generous handful of pine nuts.
That looks incredibly beautiful.
And some salt. Put a bit of pepper.
It's fantastic. Are you having some?
Yes.
That is great. It's really lovely, crunchy veggie. Yum. Sardines is something as well.
It's another one of our favorites, and in summer, the smell of sardines runs the country. You know, everywhere it's the smoke and the flavors of the sardine. You never seen sardines like the Portuguese, I can tell you. Look at this. Look how nice, big. They've got a very thick skin and scales, so which keeps them moist, and it drips all this moist. It's just beautiful.
There's one ingredient above all others that Portuguese people couldn't live without. It's the dried salted cod called bacalhau. It's caught in the cold waters above Scandinavia, and the ability to dry it and salt it enabled the Portuguese to sail off and discover new worlds. So this is the fish that launched 1,000 ships, eh?
Yes, that's the one. And still is very popular all over the country. I've soaked it for more than 24 hours.
And change the water?
And I constantly change, like every 8 hours I change the water. So we go into the pot.
It's a beautiful white flesh fish, isn't it?
It is beautiful. Now you need the milk. You do the milk, I do the onion.
What does milk do for it, though?
It makes it really flaky when it comes out. Okay, so we're going to put some of
So you
those.
only use dried bay leaves?
Yes, for some reason we don't like the green. Gonna use a bit of garlic and just some peppercorns, and you put it on top of the stove.
Such a gentle process, poaching it in milk,
Yes,
isn't it?
It is, yeah, very gentle. Just trying to see how it goes. If it starts, it starts coming away beautifully away from the bone.
You love this fish, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. It's my favorite.
Oh, beautiful. I love a good potato, Fatima.
They're lovely.
What do you do with
They look
these?
good. So I just put some rock salt and some olive oil and in the oven, and they get really nice. Now, what I do is I just...
So why do you smash them?
I don't know. I really don't know. I always saw Mum doing
You're
this.
a violent
I
woman.
suppose. Now, we go and put our cod in there. And the next layer, it's the onions.
Oh, that's beautiful. What did you do?
That's Spanish onion. I just sliced it very thinly and cooked in olive oil.
Slowly.
Very slowly. The next thing is the broa,
The cornbread.
the cornbread. And we're going to make some crumbs,
Chunky?
chunky crumbs.
Now, are you going to
These-
use these crusts for something later?
I'll eat them. Love them.
Do you?
Yeah, love them.
To the crumbs, Fatima adds 3 chopped garlic cloves, chopped flat leaf parsley, 3 egg yolks to bind the mix together, and a good dash of olive oil.
Oh, that's my favorite. Nice, strong.
To complete the crumble mix that crisps up in the oven, a generous handful of pitted black olives, strips of roasted red capsicum, and it's into a medium oven for around 20 minutes.
Now more olive oil.
A little bit, just for the shine. Cheers.
Saúde.
Saúde.
So red wine with fish in Portugal.
Absolutely, with the cod and sardines, you must have
Okay, let's
a
try
nice,
your
a
cod.
nice drop of red.
That's fantastic, Fatima.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And not hard to do, is it?
Very easy.
Very easy.
Very easy. After all those strong flavours, you need something sweet and luscious, and it's the perfect opportunity to try pastéis de nata, the famous Portuguese custard tarts. The man who first made them in Australia is right here. Hey, Fernando. How many is that today?
Yeah, your man is about 1,200 today.
Oh, just a
Yeah,
few.
just a few, yeah.
The secret of a good custard tart is?
The secret, the pastry. The pastry. If the pastry is good, they come very good. If the pastry is, is not the good quality, it's never come a good custard tart.
You like them a little bit black on top. That's a good thing.
That's the traditional.
Yeah.
A little bit black on the top, That black takes the sweet away when we eat it. In the first day, they think they burn, but it's not. No, it's just a little bit sugar on the top. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Yeah.
John de Almeida trained as a pastry chef in Portugal and blends traditional and modern techniques to create sweet magic. No Portuguese meal finishes without dessert. One of the classics is also the easiest.
Okay, first we start with the caramel. We have about 50 to 75 ml of cold water put into a pot, 200 grams of sugar, straight onto the center of the water, not touching the side of the pot.
And tell me, with the toffee here, what colour are you looking for?
The color we're looking for a nutty, deep color, sort of like a deep gold, that when you look at it firmly, almost feels like it's a deep red. This smoke is just magical.
To 200 grams of sugar, John adds a dozen eggs and whisks them. He then heats a litre of milk with a cinnamon quill, some lemon peel and a dash of vanilla extract.
So you bring it to boiling?
Bring it to boiling. Now all the flavors have infused. Egg and sugar.
John
mix.
whisks the hot milk into the eggs. A good tip is to strain the custard.
Fill up the tray about halfway of the actual mold. And then we're going to bake it about 150, 160 degrees Celsius. I would say take about half an hour, 35 minutes, maximum 40 minutes.
OK, John, the moment of truth. What makes a creme caramel so special?
It's because of the texture, the flavour, that is so soft and gentle. So it makes it so easy to eat and appreciate. When you cut it like that, look at the texture of this. It makes it so special.
Whoa.
Almost with a sex appeal.
Wow, it's totally seductive.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh. Magnificent.
Lovely.
Lovely.
On our next safari, the fresh flavours of Vietnamese food, from a beautiful noodle salad to a clay pot fish anyone can make.
I must say, it's one of my best.
Really?
Yes.
Well, isn't that lucky?
Maybe because it was for TV.
Oh, of course.
Oh, I need my wine now.
Yeah, of course you do.